Let's talk about Anglo American Platinum. It's the world's largest platinum producer. The company has a market cap of 82 billion rand, price to earnings ratio of 42.7, currently paying no dividends.
So it's the biggest player. It's responsible for about 40% of global platinum production. And remember, it is in transition mode where it has sold a number of its underperforming or tired or old assets, and it is focusing and concentrating on its open cast and higher margin operations.
Right, now let's have a look at the share price graph to give us that context that we need to further our conversation. And there we have it. You know, it's got a long way to go to get back to 2014 highs. Paul, do you think that is possible?
I think it is, perhaps, but you know, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to restore profitability, and I think we're in a transition mode right now where the transition to the higher margin operations is key. But Chris Griffiths and the management team, very talented, very considerate, and I think they will do the right things.
Gary, do you think that they will do the right things? Paul here talking about Chris Griffiths and the management team.
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, you know, any of the companies we're going to look at today, I mean, the management teams are very, very strong. It's really the operating environment that's holding them back. You know, low platinum prices, but then also, I suppose, you know, very difficult on-the-ground operations as well. So we had a trading statement out of them that said that, you know, headline earnings per share are going to drop more than 20%. Didn't give us any numbers. Looking at consensus estimates, probably expecting headline earnings to drop off about 50%. So, I mean, it's as Paul says, it's a very difficult operating environment, but I think the guys are doing the right things. So
the cost cutting ultimately will adjust and hopefully you know, keep the company on a solid footing.
I mean, again, it's the environment. I mean, you know, at the moment the share price is definitely under pressure because the rand has been stronger than people expected. I mean, in the last year, that, you know, at the same time you've got sort of this mining charter looming over them as well. Do they now make new investments while the rand is strong, where they go and buy their, you know, sort of big heavy machinery and capital goods? No, they're probably going to, you know, step back a little bit on the implementation just until we get some certainty around that. Then, you know, say the rand does weaken after that, then suddenly you're in a very difficult position. It's a very difficult environment. I don't envy Chris Griffiths and the
difficult
team.
Environment, Paul.
Let's talk about the mining charter though, because it's been dropped on the industry, who are absolutely mortified because there's some critical elements, like the fact that if you did an empowerment deal in the past, you no longer get credit for that if your empowerment partner has since sold the shares. Anglo American Platinum did a lot of deals where they took existing assets and vended them into empowerment transactions. Those potentially don't qualify at all. It's possible even that Anglo American, which owns 80% of the business, might be forced to sell a portion in order to bring in empowerment shareholders. There are many who think that the whole charter is unenforceable and that it's just a publicity stunt ahead of these you know, ANC congresses. But it creates an environment in which it's very difficult to take money out of your pocket and put it into these companies as an investment with all the uncertainty about their net returns.
You're just not going to invest with the uncertainty out there.
And you can't.
Especially where policy is concerned. I mean, you would be crazy to go and put new capital.
Or a genius, a value genius. I suppose if you have a very long-term view, I mean, the one thing with, I suppose, the mining assets as well, that, you know, no matter what happens on the surface, the minerals stay in the ground until, as long as you can kind of maintain your ownership stake. But as Paul says, with kind of what's on the table for the mining chart, I mean, I think you can expect serious dilution of shareholders at this stage. So yeah, I'd have to agree.
Hot, not?
No, not hot.
Hot or not, Paul?
No, I'm afraid not. Look, I think it's done a lot of work already, and it's better now than it was 3 years ago, but not hot.